Why did the Gulag start in the first place? And who started it?
The Gulag began in the first camps were founded directly after the Bolshevik Revolution by Lenin. Under his order, he and Trotsky ordered the setting up of camps for enemies of the people and people who were in the way of the revolution. And this was right at the beginning in 1918.
And so they take you away. During a daylight arrest, there's always that brief and unique moment when they take you through a crowd of hundreds of just such doomed, innocent people as yourself. Well, you aren't gagged. You can and you really should cry out. Cry out that you're being arrested.
Why were people picked to go to the camps in the first place?
Well, people were arrested.
For what?
Well, the Gulag was partly for political prisoners. And by political prisoners in the Soviet Union, I mean people who were arrested on spurious political charges 99% of the time. So they would tell a joke about Stalin and then they would be arrested for being counter-revolutionaries. Or their neighbor, wanted to get hold of their apartment, so the neighbor would accuse them of committing treason, and then they would be arrested for treason.
It results in party propaganda films, which picture the newly prosperous farmers as decadent petit bourgeois and sex-crazed hedonists, a fungus attacking the thrifty and virtuous proletariat, one that must be expunged.
One of the things that's really surprising to me and that I think is absolutely reprehensible, is the fact that this is not widespread knowledge among students in the West, any of this. If you started to describe it as appalling, you would barely scratch the surface.
Why didn't they tell us this? I never heard this from my teachers. I thought I was getting a good high school education. We studied history, we studied the World War II, we studied the Cold War. I never heard about the Gulag. I heard about the Holocaust.
The exact figure is uncertain, but over 20 million people died as a result of Stalin's purges.
I ask students, does a number come to your mind? Never mind, this isn't a trick question. It may be right, the right number and wrong number, but I think for many of you who've heard something, a number comes to your mind. What would you say if I said 66 million?
Some people were following orders. Some people believed they were creating paradise on Earth. You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. You can't get to the perfect society without eliminating the enemies, and that's what they believed they were doing.
Why people are kneeling, blindfolded and shaven and being led to trains in modern China. What is going on there?
I do not know where you get this videotape. Sometimes you have a transfer of prisons.
My experience with students has been that none of them know anything about what happened as a consequence of the repression of the radical left in the 20th century. And I believe the reason for that is that the communist system had extensive networks of admirers in the West, especially among intellectuals, and still in fact does, which is also equally reprehensible.